The Junction is a black box performing arts space for the community, by the community, for performers, by performers. We are a 160-seater theater style setup which caters to theater, stand up comedy, dance, music, and all forms of performing arts.
The Junction for us was actually something that was very exciting as a project because of our past experience in theatre. So Gautam, Ankita and I had been doing theatre collectively for many years, actually before the opportunity to do Junction came up.
Theatre remains a very, very fulfilling hobby. So between the three of us, we worked on over 100 plays. It was Gautam's dream to have his own facility for a very, very long time. So along the way, whenever we would perform at various venues, he would make mental notes of what he wanted and what he didn't want, and we would just discuss and brainstorm together.
Back in 2014, we were really looking to take a shell and core warehouse and convert it into a black box theatre. Now, I had seen that concept in a few places abroad, but I had no idea how to bring that vision to life.
Initially, the warehouse itself was a 12-meter high warehouse. When you talk about making a space like this habitable, air conditioning is a very, very big factor. And if you have to air condition a space that high for 200 people, it would work out extremely expensive and completely futile use of resources. So we capped the warehouse at 6 meters and planned all our engineering services and spatial planning around that.
When you talk about designing, of course, you have to keep two aspects which are very important. One is the operations perspective, which is from the space and from the utilization, and secondly, what is the customer experience going to be, right? Which is in this case the theatre patrons. So when we think about it from both the perspectives, we came up with a schematic that was important to satisfy both needs.
Our first design reaction was to move away from the industrial look and feel of the facility. But I guess somewhere along the way, the project just found its vocation in a very raw and intimate space. The spatial planning of the facility is actually very, very simple. It's divided into two parts. One is, of course, your black box theatre. The second is your reception and gallery area. And somewhere in between the two spaces, we accommodated the common areas like the washrooms, the two green rooms for each of the male and female actors. And it was very important for us to design the green rooms in such a way that they opened directly onto the wings. And it was important for the wings to open directly onto the performance space or the stage. We also planned for the walls of the common areas to be blank. The idea was that we would invite local graffiti artists or local illustrators to come in and use the walls as their own canvas. We thought it would add a lot of character to the space. Walls are one of the highlight features. I mean, even the washroom walls have hand-drawn art on them.
When we started off, one of the amazing things about having Freeline Engineering, having Ankita and Anish on board, was the fact that they understood theatre. So they were able to give us concepts and ideas which I believe regular service providers wouldn't have been able to give us. They came up with innovative ways of accessing the tech box, getting storage done because they anticipated that we would need that even when we did not. Understanding how the wings would be utilized, how the stage would be utilized, how we would need division within the green rooms, how we would hang out and get our projections done. All of these things were things we honestly had not thought about. And we're so glad to have them on board because they thought 2 steps ahead of us.
So engineering perspective, of course, the lights had to be suspended. So for us, it was very important to ensure that the lights were properly, strung and suspended at correct angles. Then, of course, the sound booth had to be elevated. It's very critical in any play that there is a coordination between the sound effects and what's happening on stage.
The seating of the junction is something very special to us because we spent so much time planning for it. We designed the seating as a steel structure, and underneath the steel structure, we have very cleverly given them a vast expanse of storage.
So, during the collaborative process, Freeline Engineering took us through everything from the detailed drawings to the vision, conceptualization, execution. During the construction process, the supervision, the guidance. I just want to thank Ankita and Anish from the bottom of my heart. This project was a baby of mine, and I really see them as the godparents of this baby.